We're focused on precious metals, gold and silver in Argentina and Chile. Standard cautionary statement, this is on our website. I would encourage you to go there, look at it, and understand it. This slide, thanks to Ted's introduction, I won't need to cover. I do spend a little bit of time usually talking about macro factors, but Ted did that in a way that I couldn't even match. So I'll go on straight to one of my favorite slides, the specifics that are, or the reasons that are specific to Astra as far as why and how we can create value in any given environment, but particularly during a precious metals bull market cycle. First of all, we are focused on high grades. There are several things that influence economics with deposits. Most of the time, grade is most important. There's metallurgy, there's shape, geometry, depth, all of that stuff, but grade is your margin as a rule of thumb. Astra has an industry-recognized team that has made several discoveries, including world-class deposits in this area that we were looking. We've got a very tight capital structure with an exceptional shareholder registry. We've got great alignment between management and shareholders, and we've got upcoming catalyst events, namely the ongoing drilling at our flagship project, La Manuria in Argentina. We've got 19 drill holes for which we have assays pending. There are 3 projects in the portfolio, 2 in Chile, 1 in Argentina. For the sake of time today, we're only talking about Argentina, but the projects in Chile are great projects. They've got a lot of value potential. They will have their day. But we're talking about the province of Santa Cruz in Argentina in a location called the Deseado Massif. It's a region that is perhaps one of the most well-endowed regions in the world for epithermal gold silver. It's host to several past producing mines and currently producing mines, including world-class deposits. You've got Cerro Negro, which is 150 kilometers to the north, and Cerro Vanguardia, 100 kilometers to the east, each of which have total known endowment of over 10 million ounces. Some of the notable M&A activity that occurred at the peak of the last cycle, this would have culminated in about 2010, 2011. Goldcorp acquired Andean Resources for $3.4 billion for the Cerro Negro deposit. 2 years later, in 2012, Yamana bought Extori for the Cerro Moro deposit for $413 million. I want to talk real quickly about Cerro Negro because there are several similarities that we see with La Manuria. My head of exploration, Diego Guido, was actually at Cerro Negro when they made the first 2 major discoveries. Similar to La Manuria, it had a bulk tonnage disseminated deposit near surface. The game changer there was the discovery of the high-grade feeder zones, and that's the opportunity that we see at La Manuria. But just a quick lesson on kind of the structure of an epithermal system. This is just a cartoon. What happens generally, you have thicker veins at depth. As you get closer to surface, you get higher in the system. Those veins start to branch out. And then near surface, you have a very dense field of veinlets. That veinlet field at the top, that's where you typically get your bulk disseminated deposit. Down below that, you start to see convergence of the veins with depth. And the main target that you're after are the high-grade feeder zones. And this was the game changer at Cerro Negro. The first discovery they made there was the Eureka vein. They drilled underneath the volcanics. There was 1 million ounces in a single vein. A short time later, they made a discovery at the Marianas vein system that added another 2 to 3 million ounces on their way to 10 plus million ounces. Diego was there. He knows that deposit well. He sees the similar type of opportunity to find high-grade feeder zones at our La Manuria project that he has wanted to explore for 20 years. These are some of the drill results that I have listed here. Those in the dark font are historical holes and intercepts. The ones in magenta are the ones that we have drilled since we did our first program last year. But I want to draw your attention to this dark blue circle in the center of the map here. This is where all of the drilling to date has been focused. It's the only outcrop on the property, which is a main reason why this is still existent, why it hasn't been discovered, because there's volcanics in the area that conceal most of the system. What we've demonstrated so far with a modest amount of drilling is that the system has expanded into these yellow areas highlighted here. And there's additional areas in the field that we've seen evidence we believe there's potential to expand the system into these areas. It's still very early days, but this has a lot of blue sky potential to it. And again, the entire area is covered in volcanics, so there's very little outcrop here. But we're literally talking, if you didn't see the grades, they're spectacular grades near surface. We're literally talking about multiple intercepts of ounces of gold and kilograms of silver in several intercepts. I'm going to take you back in time here. We signed this deal for this property in 2024. This is zoomed into that small blue circle that I just showed you there. In November 2024, right after we finalized the option agreement, there were 2 areas of known mineralization, 2 parallel trends. And at that time, we knew that they were open to the southeast along strike, but we were uncertain as far as additional potential beyond that. 350 meters of vein strike, and it was about 550 meters in lateral width. A few months later, just prior to our first drill program, we realized that this was open along strike in both directions. After the first drill program in 2025, it was confirmed this was open along strike in both directions. It's now open laterally. And then you come to today, we've now identified 4 parallel zones of veins, each one of which is open along strike in both directions. It's open laterally in every direction, as well as in between those. Perhaps more importantly, the system is now open at depth. It was previously thought that the system terminated at shallow depths because of a rock unit that didn't host mineralization. We were actually the first ones to drill through some of those rocks, and we're right back into good host rocks beneath that. And some of those layers are actually quite thin, only 25 meters thick. So this system is completely opened up in every single dimension. We are now at 1.2 kilometers in lateral width, 750 meter strike from 350 that we started with, again, open in both directions. We've established 200 meters of vein strike in the eastern zone. We've identified a new parallel vein in the road zone. We don't know the strike length of that yet. We only have 2 holes in it, and we only have a few holes down here in the basalto zone, but it's literally opening up in every dimension. And again, just to bring your attention back on this slide, all of that is within that dark blue circle. And then quickly here, I want to show a cross section. So if you'll note the 4 zones there, what we wanted to see, I mentioned with the model that I showed you, the cartoon of Cerro Negro, you want to see those veins coalescing at depth. If you'll notice, particularly in the main zone right now, all of those main structures are coalescing. We are seeing that convergence at about the 180 meter level below surface, which is actually quite shallow in these systems. This is making for a very compelling drill target for the upcoming drill program. We do have 5,000 meters of drilling. We're planning to start in probably late March, early April. We're fully funded for that. As I mentioned, we've got assays pending for 19 holes. We are getting those now. We will be putting out results very shortly. But very quickly, the people involved behind this, you might recognize some names here. These are some of my co-founders, have been responsible for shaping the team into what it is. As I mentioned, they've made several discoveries in their careers, including world-class deposits. We've also got local presence in Buenos Aires and in Santiago. So we've got that local presence, that local expertise. Diego Guido is our head of exploration based in Buenos Aires. He knows the Deseado Massif as well as anybody and better than most. Share structure is very tight. It's led by Michael Gentili as our largest shareholder. He's about a 16 to 17% owner. He's been a repeat investor since we were a public company. You might recognize some of the names under his names, Mason Resources, Peter DeMooney, Simon Marcotte. A lot of these guys were the group that was behind Northern Superior Resources, which was recently acquired by IM Gold in December. They're major cornerstone shareholders in Astra. Management and directors, we own about 13%. We've bought and paid for every share that we have. We've got a lot of money invested into this and a lot of ownership, and that's where the alignment of incentives come from. But it's a very tightly held company, about 70 to 75%, so only about a 30% public float, 117 million shares outstanding, cash balance right now of just under $4 million. That gets us through the 5,000 meters of drilling that we're planning in April, May, with about $1 million left in the till afterward. Share price performance over the last year, you can see we've had the last 18 months has been transformational for the company. And then just a quick catalyst summary. These are the most important things I think coming up that have the potential to drive a re-rate in the share price. Assays pending for 19 of the 25 drill holes, another 5,000 meters commencing in March and April. We will be doing a little bit of work at Cerro Bayo, our project in Chile, planning to ramp drilling further in 2026. With an emerging high-grade discovery in a region with existing mining infrastructure, all during the early stages of a major bull market. We'll be here today and tomorrow, so if you have any questions or interest, please stop by. Thank you.